later today. And yesterday, President Trump revoked the security clearance for former CIA Director John Brennan. I spoke with Matt Brodsky about this controversial move. Brodsky is a senior fellow at the Security Studies Group. Now, Brennan has been a very outspoken critic of the president's. Why do you think Trump took this action now?
Well, I think Brennan, for a long period of time, has been selling a very specific agenda that has gone well beyond the realm of what an ex-intelligence director does. So I think what's unique in his case is the type of things he's been saying, the fact that he is a paid a media contributor to NBC and MSNBC, which makes it different. So the fact is, for someone who is trying to say the things that he's saying, most of which is essentially unfounded in a long litany of basic accusations that he's made against the president. I think if he is going to be doing that, then to be able to say that he has a security clearance with which he can then brief the president so it gives him added credibility, it's just not necessary for him. I mean, the reason that security clearance is typically allowed to remain for former presidential officials and appointees is so that the president can then call them if they're in a pickle and get their information. This has worked well for presidents in the past. However, when you look at John Brennan's record, there's no reason that he would ever be called by President Trump. And of course, it's self-serving for Brennan, who has an agenda.
This has prompted a larger conversation with critics accusing Trump of basically suppressing dissenting voices by revoking the security clearance of Brennan. Do you see it that way, or do you see this Trump having rationale behind it?
Yeah, I don't see it that way, though I can understand why the other side is basically trying to make that case. I mean, no one is taking away his ability to be on NBC News and to be a contributor, but it does not need the blessing of the U.S. government or the blessing of the intelligence community, which is essentially what they're revoking. So, of course, the left is very clearly trying to make it a case of, this is just trying to stifle free speech. He can speak and say whatever he wants, but he should not have access to classified information, especially if he has a background of leaking such information, such as, again, he was the one responsible for getting the doctor in Pakistan who helped us capture bin Laden leaked. And he did that in order to help Obama sell his story, which throughout the campaign, if you recall, in 2012, all centered around bin Laden is dead and al-Qaeda is on the run. He has been working for political purposes for a long period of time. And again, these were things that many people, including on the left, were warning about back in 2013 when he was being appointed as CIA director. So I think this is a long time coming for him specifically. As far as people lower on, the chain of the intelligence community, people who have top secret clearance, they're not people who are necessarily going to be called into the president's office after they served in a different administration to provide advice. If they were, they, of course, could be given temporary clearance by the president, who has the right to do this. But all of this is constitutional, and I think that there's a reason that he did it with this individual specifically.